or welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay. The sun's a little bright, but I made this cutie little tube top out of a oversized white t-shirt, and I'm so excited to show you. You can easily make this at home. I think it turned out so cute. Just keep watching if you want to make your own. So here is the white top I had before we turned it into the tube top, and basically it's just a big oversized white t-shirt, enough that you have lots of room for material, enough that it's long enough for the strings, and also that it's thick enough so that it's not see-through. If you do have a shirt that's see-through, you can just double up what I do, but if you can find one that is not super see-through, that is key. Okay, so I laid the shirt out and I just wanted to kind of show you my design. I'll throw some inspo pictures up if I have them, but kind of the idea is I want to make a tube top that has two ties, like one at the very top of it and one just below. And then I just drew this top, and I figured that the tube top would probably be about that much, and then I could use the extra strings for these strings. But that's kind of the plan. I really like this tube top, so I'm gonna use it as a template. I thrifted this and I love the way that it fits me, and it's also cotton, so I think that it's a good match. So as you can see, there's still extra room here, which is good because that'll be nice long strings for the straps, and then we will get started on that. Right, Maisie? Okay, so just flatten the tube top really nice onto the shirt so that it's on there good. And then I just used a marker and I'm just tracing the outline of the tube top onto the white shirt. I'm giving it about an inch or half an inch of seam allowance. I just like to do that so that if there's any mess ups, you have room. But basically, this is the line we are using to cut out. So now just take your scissors and cut out this tube top. So now we're just gonna sew along the side seam. Not the top yet, just the side. So just make sure you line it up nice and you can get going on your sewing machine. I just did a straight stitch all the way down the side. So now you can see we did that stitch all the way down the side. Now we're just gonna flip it inside out so that that seam is on the inside of the shirt. And now you can see the seam is nice and clean. Perfect. Okay, so I sewed the side and I just wanted to try it on to make sure it fits before we keep going. And I think it actually fits exactly how I want it to fit. However, I did make a mistake. I accidentally sewed like the right sides out. So now the inside, like the outside of the bottom is on the inside. But honestly, I'm not that worried about it. Kind of fun to have seams on the outside, have tops like that. So I think we're good. I think we're good. So yeah, it's kind of like full length. I like that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is hem the top so we can put the first string through the top part and have a little tie here. This is turning out so cute. I think I'll start there, try it on again, and then determine where we want to add the second string, but probably around there somewhere. But I'm so happy with this so far. Okay, let's do the top hem. Okay, so we're gonna flip it back inside out so that that side seam is on the outside again, because now we're gonna make the second seam, which is the top. So just fold down about an inch or so, and then we're just gonna pin it in place. So I kind of started by folding it down in the middle, so I had my distance, and then I just kept folding down next to it and pinning it so that it was roughly the same size. And you're just gonna do that all the way around, so rolling down the sides and pinning it. So once you have pinned it all the way around, it is ready to take to the sewing machine. But before we do that, we're gonna also make the straps so that we can just sew them both at the same time. So now I have this excess of that t-shirt, and we're gonna use that to create the strings for the top. So basically just cut it out so that you can get the length as long as possible, and then that's the piece we'll be working with. Obviously you can see that the t-shirt, like the arm part, isn't kind of in the way, but we can still use the parts around it. So I just kind of folded up the arm part and then cut around the sleeve so that we still had a long string. Hopefully that makes sense, but you can see here. Okay, so now we have two long strings, which are perfect, and it's time to make them into actual strings, not just pieces of fabric. So what we're essentially doing is now we're gonna fold the strings in half and pin them so that we can sew them and turn them into kind of more a rope style of string. One of the strings is a little thicker than the other. That doesn't really matter because once we sew it, we'll be making them the same size. So don't worry if that's the case. We will even it all out with the sewing machine. Just keep making sure that the fabric is laid nice and flat when you're pinning it. Okay, now we have both strings and we can take that and the top to the sewing machine. Okay, so we're doing that top hem. Again, I just did a straight stitch all the way around. Make sure you use white thread if you don't want the thread to be visible, or whichever color thread your t-shirt is. Perfect. Now the top is done and you can see it is thick enough that we'll be able to put some string through it. And now you can turn it back right side out. Yes, right side out. And now you have a beautiful hem. Okay, now it's time to sew the straps. Again, just another straight stitch all the way down. Okay, so this one just goes around me but doesn't give me any room to do a tie, so I decided I might not do the second one under the booby area, but what I'm going to do instead is attach these to have a longer string so we can actually tie a bow. What I'm going to do is take this one out so that there's a little bit of a flap opening here, and I'm going to put this one under a decent amount. Okay, I'm going to put the needle back in to hold it. Okay, so then I'm just gonna continue sewing this line. So let me show you. So on your sewing machine, you can put a piece of tape, or sometimes there's lines already. This 5/8 line I was following for the top hem, but I was just following this extra little line. I don't know if you can see it, like right here, this line. So I'm gonna keep doing that for this, and it'll be the same size. So let me just show you here. Line it up along that little line here. You can see it now. Okay, clamp it down, sew it. Always have to do a back stitch. It goes about to here, the second piece of fabric, so that will all be attached together, which is great. Okay, and now I'm just gonna continue. So as you can see, I'm trying to keep this along this line so that it stays even all the way. If that's too hard for you, just draw a line where you want to sew your line and follow it, and it won't show up when you turn it inside out because it'll be hidden. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so now I just have to take out the pins, but we have this long string, which will be really cute to make a bow out of. This is where it attaches. Okay, so I'm gonna take the pins out, and then what I'm gonna do is cut off the excess fabric, and then I will show you how to flip it inside out so that there's no seams showing and it looks like a clean little like ribbon string type thing. So let's keep going. So here I'm just cutting off that excess fabric. As you can see, I'm cutting it pretty close to the hem just because it will be too hard to flip it inside out if there's a ton of extra fabric. So just making sure you are getting most of it off, as you can see. Okay, so here is the best trick. So you're just gonna take that safety pin, you're gonna pin it to the top of that string, and then you're gonna kind of flip the safety pin so it goes back into the tube of the string. And then you're gonna kind of keep scrunching it up and then pulling the excess fabric through. So the safety pin is inside the tube and it's kind of like your guide through the tube to flip it inside out. So you just scrunch it up and then pull the fabric, scrunch it up and pull the fabric all the way along. And then once you're at the very end of your string, you're just gonna pull it all the way through so the tube is completely flipped. And now the straight stitch is on the inside and it looks like a little rope string. It's so cute. Now to just secure it off, we're just gonna fold the ends inward and then do a little stitch over them. That way the ends aren't loose and they are nice and finished, so they look like even more like a real string. Okay, so this is the top so far. It's officially hemmed at the top. I think it looks pretty cute, nice and loosey. And then this was the string we just made, so I just sewed right over it like that on both ends so that it wouldn't come out. What we have to do now is make two little slits here, like right where this is, so I can feed this string through it, and then it'll come out the end and do a little tie, which is why we had to make the string longer so that it would actually fit around enough to make a little tie. Are we starting to see the vision? Hopefully. I was also thinking, I found this lacy elasticy cord that I have, and since we don't have enough to make another string here, I was thinking, should I put this here? You know what, I don't think I love that, but maybe at the top? Like that could be cute for a little extra. But now that I'm holding it up, I feel like I'm not going to do this. But if you want to like spice up yours and like add a bit of lace to it or something somewhere, it definitely would look cute. I think for me though, I'm just gonna stick with the cotton vibes of the shirt. Okay, so that means we're almost done. I'm not gonna mark the slits in case it's not exactly in the middle. So what I'm gonna do is lay this down and I'm just gonna fold it in half, and that's how I'm gonna make the marks. I'll show you now. So let's do that. Okay, so again, you're making sure that it's right side out so the hems are on the inside, and then you're just gonna fold the top in half. Do your best to fold it in half as precisely as possible, but then you can just fix it up by lining up the edges, shaking it down, making sure that the top is folded right in half so that those two little slits we make will be in the middle. So I just used a pen and made a little dot, maybe about like half an inch or so, and then I just did the same dot on the other side, the same distance. I just did this with my eye. You can use a ruler if you want, but this worked out fine for me. You can see that they are nice and in the middle and about an inch apart. Perfect. So now I just fold the hem, like the tube, in half kind of thing, so that when I just do the little snip, it cuts the front. And you can see right there, it worked out so good. So yeah, just folding it and doing a little tiny snip, just enough to get the string through. And again, we're gonna use the safety pin, so just clip the safety pin into that string, and you just do the same method we did to make the string. You're just gonna push the safety pin through, scrunch up the fabric, pull it through, all the way until you make it to the other side. Okay, so we've now made it all the way around, so it's kind of cute because it's like thicker at the top now with the string through it. So this is the last thing to do, just grab the safety pin, push it through that last hole, and we're gonna pull it through. So cute. You can even make like a matching mini skirt out of it if you had another t-shirt. Okay, I'm just gonna take the safety pin off. Okay, and there you have your little tube top. Now let's go try it on and make the little tie cute. Let's do it. Let me know if you make this. You can let me know on Instagram or in the comments. And I hope you have a great rest of your day or night or whenever you're watching this. And I'll see you very soon in my next video. Let me know if you want to see other like t-shirt upcycles, because there's lots of things you can do with that. Anyways, I'll see you very soon.